If you need a soft touch for hard fishing conditions, Soft Bait Bass shows you how to apply soft baits with deadly advantage for triggering spooky, finicky, and fussy bass. It's one of many installments in our Angling Edge instructional DVD collection, available at anglingedge.com.
Water is a precious commodity along the arid West Coast, and small man-made lakes collect and provide essential drinking water, irrigation, and recreational opportunities. Among the latter are trophy fishing for stock trout and a wealth of jumbo crappies that would be the envy of panfish anglers nationwide.
Me and Bill are about the only ones that are doing it out of all these lakes in the entire Southern Cal area.
But it is undoubtedly the gigantic largemouths of Southern California which grab the lion's share of angling attention, and deservedly so. With numerous lakes producing outlandish bass in the high teens, there's no better place on earth to perhaps break the current world record.
Oh, come on, Mama. Come on, baby. Release that fish. Jump one more time, huh? Yeah, one more time. We're on our way to some good ones. We are on our way to some good ones. Let's see, I've been here on this famous Diamond Valley Lake with you, what, we've been here about 10 minutes? You dump one big one, I got one pretty nice one for Diamond Valley. Welcome to Southern California. With millions of people sharing limited access to water, the small, deep, clear reservoirs of Southern California experience the heaviest sophisticated pressure in North America. Countless fishing tournaments ensure that bass have seen darn near everything in the tackle box and have probably been caught and released several times before. The demand for finesse fishing is off the charts because you have to fool the fish, and they're nobody's fool. Spooky California bass notice the slightest error in your presentation. To catch them, you need to not only disguise your presence and make your lures appear lifelike and natural, but do everything in your power to fish the best spots at the best times in the best possible ways. Right now, I'm with the godfather of swim bait fishing, Bill Siemantel, who has logged more hours on these lakes than most fish in it, and is also my son Troy's tournament fishing partner. These guys have developed a pattern for quickly identifying the best structures, times to fish them, and most importantly, how to fish them.
You know, one of the keys that Troy and I have been doing out here is you're always trying to find fish consistently. This isn't a real big fish, but I mean, it would be a great start of a tournament day. I have a pattern that I've been using for years on breaking down the water column to consistently get on the fish day in and day out, no matter what time of year I'm fishing. Oh, that is a nice fish. Now, some of the keys that I've used, it's not a big fish, but a nice one to start with. One of the keys that I've used looking at a lake, you want to break down the water very quickly. There's 5 key elements you always want to look for: points, humps, creek channels, flats, and ridges. I'll let this fish go real quick. The key is, when you find these points on a map, mark them with the number system, 1 through 5. Any point, when you look back in this bay, any point, give it a 1. If the point's long, tapers out into a creek channel, give it a 2. If there's cover or structure elements added onto that, give it a 3 and a 4. It's very easy to open up a map and just look at percentages on a point, saying there's a 5 spot, there's a 4 spot, there's a 3 spot. And when you build that together through a day, that's how you find a pattern quickly. And I can go from a point that's rated a 3, catch a lot of fish on it, turn around, we go to another point that's rated a 3, catch more fish on it. We can work that pattern all day long until things change.
Bill Siemantel's spot-on-the-spot analysis takes the good, better, best principle to the ultimate degree for selecting fishing spots with the highest potential for both attracting and catching jumbo largemouth bass. In steep-sided reservoirs with minimal horizontal structure, shoreline extensions are good candidates to hold fish. The larger and more complex they are, the more fish they're likely to attract. Beyond that, bass are likely to use only precise, distinct areas of that structure where some type of cover is located. The better you zero in on and fish those spots, the more bass you're gonna catch.
You position it right, you make the right cast in the right spot, and it only takes one cast for those really big fish.
Sun angle, wind direction, and timing all come into play as well. For example, structures receiving a little wind and waves to break up sunlight penetration are more likely to produce bass than those on the calmer side of the lake. Shade, too, is a major factor. As the sun moves across the sky during the day, different portions of structure receive the best shade, causing bass to shift their position in relationship to the structure. Key features on the shady side of a point or hump become prime spots for bass.
You know, growing up as a kid, I walked a lot of banks fishing, and I noticed when you throw out and you actually work a bait uphill into the cover and structure, it's just an easier opportunity for those fish to actually, you know, catch that prey, you know, that either bait fish or a crawdad or something up against it. So when I get in my boat, I found myself coming out and positioning myself in my boat for the same thing. I put my boat right on shore, throw out, bring it uphill. You're gonna run into the cover and structure a lot better. And if you do that consistently, no matter where you're fishing in the US, you're gonna put more fish in the boat more often.
Big bass often suspend in these lakes and look and feed up on stock trout, minnows, shad, or other species. You'll often need to swim your bait slowly and naturally above them to get a response.
Well, you got him.
Oh my God!
Subtle lures like hollow belly swim baits and natural minnow shades and patterns are high on the menu. So are gigantic trout imitating crankbaits that look and act just like the stock rainbow trout that double-digit bass often feed on.
Bring that thing up there like this.
When bass drop deeper, smaller subtle baits presented on a drop shot rig or falling slowly to the bottom on lightweight jig heads often will fool fish into biting. The pulsing action of a power bait sink worm, rigged wacky style, also will be the ticket in a lot of situations. And if it's a reaction bite, you can't go wrong with an X-Ramp. It seems that no lure is too large or too small to catch monster bass in these clear water environments. And that going to extremes is what it takes for success. But one thing's for sure, these are the most heavily and intelligently fished lakes I've ever seen. And if you're not doing something different than all the other anglers out on the water, you're not catching fish. Hey, that's a good lesson that applies almost anywhere.
That baby is a Donkey Kong. Oh my gosh, now that's what we're talking about right there. That's a California bass. And you know what? On a little teeny hook. You know, like I said, I could be out there throwing swim baits, but I'll do whatever it takes to catch a big fish. Look at the size of this thing. Now remember, point system, find your areas, find the structure, find the best spot on that area. Rock piles, brush, you name it, and then fish uphill. You do that, you're gonna catch fish more often and more places anywhere in the US. Look at that.
Hey, you want to know more about Bill and what he's up to? Check him out on his website, thebbz.com. If you need a soft touch for hard fishing conditions, Soft Bait Bass shows you how to apply soft baits with deadly advantage for triggering spooky, finicky, and fussy bass. It's one of many installments in our Angling Edge instructional DVD collection, available at anglingedge.com.